Welcome to Presuming Competence, the Mindset for Inclusion. We are glad you are taking a few moments to think about where you and your program are on the journey of inclusion. Inclusion means many things to many people. This podcast explores what underlying mindsets need to be held for high-quality inclusion of children with disabilities and their families. Let's talk about one of the underlying mindsets that supports inclusion, presuming competence. There is no proof that the presence of a disability automatically indicates an incompetent status, although sometimes that might be the assumption. Sometimes that assumption is made unconsciously. Our assumptions, conscious and unconscious, affect our mindset. The least dangerous assumption about people with disabilities is to hold high expectations that they can, given the opportunity and appropriate supports based on their individual needs, they can be successfully included with their peers. Children with disabilities most often exceed everyone's expectations about what and how much they can learn. We should never assume or predict what an individual is capable of learning or achieving. This type of thinking is particularly dangerous when the assumption is based on a specific label. So how can we see evidence of a program and community presuming competence? Inclusion. Program philosophy, policies, and practices support all children with disabilities and their families' belonging. All children and families are included, supported, and engaged in all aspects of the program. In inclusive programs, children with disabilities are full members of all classrooms in a program, never segregated in separate classes or programs. So, in summary, for inclusion to flourish, we need to presume competence and make the least dangerous assumption. Remember the points on this slide. Each and every child can learn. All children can and should learn together with the appropriate supports. And children with disabilities will exceed your expectations of what they can do. After listening to this podcast, where would you place yourself and program on the journey of inclusion? If your program would like to focus on shifting mindsets to presuming competence, look for resources on the Early Choices website in the What Makes Inclusion Work Live binder under the Vision and Attitude tab. Thank you for watching. Follow us on social media for all things inclusion at Early Choices ORG.